We are covering the killer storms of 1997. Certainly this has been a day of destruction that will last a lifetime. Violent storms tore throughout southeastern Michigan, ripping a path of death and destruction from one end of the southeastern community to the other.
That's right. The storm system began early in the day. A tornado watch was issued about 10 minutes after 1 o'clock, so there was plenty of warning that these storms were coming. Unfortunately, they still hit, and they hit with a vengeance, and some people have died as the result.
Okay, we talked about homes being demolished, businesses damaged, lives lost, and Chuck and I are going to keep you covered from the Night Beat studios. Our own Devin Skillion is live in Grosse Pointe Farms right now. What's the situation there, Devin?
Carmen, one of the most beautiful areas of Metro Detroit has lost a lot of its aesthetic luster tonight. Some of the glorious old trees here are down, but much worse than that. 2 lives have been lost here. Almost a dozen other people are in the hospital tonight after the storm settled in here at Pier Park in Grosse Pointe Farms, right on Lake St. Clair. And the storm seemed to attack the swim meet that was occurring there. We'll have much more on that coming up. One of the other big problems here in Grosse Pointe is one that is shared by people all over the metro area. The people hardest hit really don't have any idea, a lot of confusion, don't have any idea about what the shape is of their neighbors or the others in the area because power is out all over town.
1, 2, 3. What's wrong?
Professional divers, lifeguards, and people who just wanted to help combing the lake bottom for possible victims. It was about 6:30 when the storms pounced on this peaceful park by the water. Picnickers who 1 minute were enjoying the hot summer evening suddenly running for cover and their lives.
All I saw was stuff flying out of the trees over here, and then the wind, and it got real dark, and then I just saw everything coming up and flying around, and when it got light enough, I saw all this over here, and everybody was screaming.
The winds severed half-century-old trees, ripping a path through the park. Many of the injured members of one family who sought shelter under a pavilion. This is all that's left of it.
This was a pavilion, a big pavilion right here. It's floating down the Detroit River now. And there were people taking shelter there, and the whole pavilion and all the people were all blown in the water. So the guards were jumping in the water and pulling the people out of the water. And
one woman was down, she was pregnant, and then the other one was down, she wasn't breathing. There was 2 women down, they weren't breathing, and then
they pulled a baby out
they just pulled
under that big heap of crap. She was purple.
Rescuers pulled at least 4 people, 2 children and 2 adults, out of the water. None were breathing. Across the way, they found a lifeless baby girl until rescuers, including Police Lieutenant Jack Patterson, breathed life back into her.
I've got kids myself. I can't even start to talk about it, so I really don't want to talk about that. Okay, I've got to keep my composure right now.
It was not easy being a parent here tonight, as many rushed to the foot of the park, not knowing if their kids were okay. Many of them, here for a swim meet, got good news.
She lifeguard?
Yes.
She's okay. Lifeguards are okay.
Yes.
But sadly, 2 families are grieving tonight. Both victims apparently drowned in the now calm lake waters behind me. We are told the victims include 1 adult and 1 child. We're not releasing their names at this point. There were 9 survivors here, all taken to St. John Hospital. The very good news tonight is that 7 of them, all children, are listed in good condition right now. Also, 1 adult listed in good condition. 1 adult is also critical at St. John Hospital. But Devin, the big story here tonight was certainly the heroics of so many people, the lifeguards that you alluded to, and just folks just diving into the water, fully clothed, many of them trying to save as many lives as they did. And without them, the death toll would have been much higher. I know you just finished talking with them down there. Everybody accounted for now? Is the search finished for the night? Or it is. They had a lot of people in the water searching, as you saw. They had the Coast Guard helicopter, boats out. That's now all been called off because they do feel that everyone has been accounted for. All right, Dan, we just had some social workers I saw leaving who were here working with the lifeguards because it was such a devastating experience. And you mentioned Lake St. Clair, as calm as it is never this calm on Lake St. Clair. Stark contrast to the way that it was just about 5 hours ago. This is not the only place where there was a loss of life from this storm of 97. And this really was the first place that we got the indication of just how bad it was going to be as it moved in from the west and from the north out into Holly. Let's take you to Ann Thompson, who's live there. Ann?
Devin, the damage here in Springfield Township stretches through 2 trailer parks, Spring Grove and Oak Hill Chateau. 1 woman is dead. She is described as 35 to 40 years old. At this hour, officials are not releasing her identity because they are trying to notify her family. She lived in the Oak Hill Chateau estates. Officials believe the winds jostled her trailer and it collapsed around her. Here at these 2 trailer parks, 10 to 20 mobile homes were destroyed. Another 50 are severely damaged. And the hundreds of people who live here are walking around in absolute disbelief after facing the fury of a storm that officials believe was a tornado.
It was just there and it was coming straight towards us. And
what did it look like?
It was just a cloud of like smoke.
You just see tree branches coming from the sky.
The trailers shook. The wind just caught up. All of a sudden, all you seen was everything flying everywhere.
In power lines, in yards, the tornado left bits and pieces of homes once so familiar.
What is it?
I don't know. It's like a roof.
Under the powerful winds, walls and hearts buckle.
There's trailers in there that are gone. Doesn't even look like they were sitting there. There's animals that have been in pieces everywhere. You can't even tell what they were. I mean, it's bad.
From Chopper 4, Oakland County officials surveyed the damage at the Spring Grove and Oak Hill Chateau trailer parks.
Our view is probably about 20 to 30 trailers really damaged. The trailer park to the north seems like it took the most damage.
That is Oak Hill Chateau. Here, trailers and trees were ripped apart. This is what's left of the homes on Coventry Lane. At 8:45, some 3 hours after the tornado touched down, you can still smell gas in the air.
We have a major gas leak. We're attempting to get inside, secure it, and then we can do a trailer by trailer.
Yes.
A search that could not come soon enough for those forced to wait.
I've got a friend whose kids are missing. We don't know where they're at. There's animal parts. There's clothes everywhere.
One of my best friend's moms is trapped in a trailer. I'm not sure if she is alive or dead.
It has been a very difficult night for those who have been forced to stand out here and wait for word of the people that they care about. At this hour, officials say one person is missing, although they are not sure if this person is a man or a woman. They are getting conflicting reports. The good news to report is they finally have that gas leak capped, and they are going to begin letting some residents come back into their homes tonight. However, the problem is there is no gas or electricity in any of these mobile homes behind me. Now, the American Red Cross and the Oak Hill Chateau will be providing shelter for those displaced, those who do not have friends or family to go spend the night with. And the American Red Cross has set up a hotline number for anyone who is concerned about friends or family that live in either one of these trailer parks. That number is 1-810-858-4719. That number again, 1-810-858-4719. But here in Springfield Township, one woman is dead, one person is missing. Several people were injured, but those injuries apparently are not serious. However, 10 to 20 mobile homes were destroyed. Another 50 were severely damaged in what has been a very destructive storm. Back to you.
And I'm guessing the central theme there is one of here now at this hour is a lot of confusion. You've got people who don't have any power just kind of wandering around, really hungry for information on what's happened in their own neighborhood.
Well, not only hungry for information, but Devin, hungry to get back and see what happened to their homes. I mean, this is, for these people, it's all that they have. It's the most important thing that they have aside from their families. There are pets they're concerned about. There are, possessions, pictures, little things and big things that mean so much to them. And every moment that they have to spend away is a painful moment. And they're also very concerned about their neighbors. And people have come around tonight checking on each other, trying to share what little information they are getting. But right now, the people who are in this trailer park are the officials, and they continue to look for anybody else who may be injured and that one missing person.
All right, Ann, if we get a chance, we'll go back to Holly a little later on before we wrap up our extended broadcast tonight. People there in Holly, people in Washington, people in Hamtramck, people in Grosse Pointe. Many of them are looking over all of this damage, so many of these huge trees down, roofs torn apart. But they're saying to themselves, well, at least we didn't lose anyone. At least we've all got our lives and our health. But as we've seen for tonight, for at least 3 families and perhaps 4, that isn't the case. This storm could not have gotten much worse. Let's go back to Chuck and Carmen.